Walking hand in hand with gender-just climate action is the movement for Indigenous women's rights. While women are disproportionately susceptible to the effects of climate change, Indigenous peoples are even more so. Globally, Indigenous peoples encompass the 370 million persons whose communities exercise systems of self-government. Because Indigenous peoples tend to live close to the land, changes in water cycles, wildlife, soil, and weather are felt very closely. Not only are Indigenous peoples suffering the consequences of climate change more acutely, they are also facing them sooner. Thus, the voices of Indigenous women need to be heard and need to be heard now. At the start of this year's COP23 conferences, the Women and Gender constituency met to host a panel of Indigenous women's rights advocates. Present were female leaders from South America, Asia, and Africa. Representing the Amazon basin, one advocate described women's ancestral knowledge of seeds and crucial understanding of when to harvest, explaining, "Women have double seed because they give life to people and plants." From the Laos Women's Union, female leaders showed the ability of Indigenous women to transform the country from its current state of unsustainable bamboo harvesting to a more sustainable, equitable future. For India, advocates explain their movement towards sustainable farming and food security, emphasizing the importance of focusing on nutrition per acre, not yield per acre. In South Africa and Morocco, a grassroots women's initiative presented their program of women training women to practice sustainable farming methods. While this panel represented only a small fraction of Indigenous peoples globally, it was incredibly important to have present. The problems faced by Indigenous peoples are harbingers of what all people will face eventually, so it is necessary that their voices were heard at the COP23 conferences and that they continue to be heard globally.
Created using Powtoon.